feeling neutral, good, grateful, more grateful, it's been a very interesting lunar eclipse time. Last week I had asked for your help and your prayers. I had been nauseous a few days, and Sunday night I started vomiting. We had to call the EMT and get an IV for nausea medication because the 4 nausea medications we had weren't working. I also had a UTI and constipation and all the things. By 2 days later, I was in a complete catatonic state from the UTI not being treated. And it was the decision of the doctor in hospice that treating the UTI was a curative measure that he was not willing to prescribe me antibiotics for. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a UTI go awry. It can either go into a kidney infection or it can start to affect the way the brain works. My grandmother, when she was in hospice, started hallucinating and was talking about my grandfather being alive and talking to us as if we were her children instead of her grandchildren. It's very serious, and I didn't have enough life force to fight for the antibiotics. My naturopath came over every single day for hours and hours, treating me energetically with homeopathics, with probiotics. And yes, it took 7 days for me to come back to life. But on Saturday, we had a big miscommunication in my family, and somehow 4 different families came to visit me on the same day. I was in a complete catatonic state and couldn't speak like I normally do, and had my eyes closed for the most of it. From 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, people were coming in and out, traveling from 5 hours away to see me, some of them. I complained to the Assured Hospice group, and the director is going to call me. I said to them, I don't think you know who I am. My community has been so supportive for 25 years. If there's one thing I believe in, it's community. I would not have my music career if it weren't for my community. I would have not had my mediumship career if it weren't for my community. And honestly, I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for my community, as much as my community helped me in Georgia. I said, I've got 1,300 people on my mailing list that have felt helpless watching all of this go on with me. that are just waiting for something tangible to be able to help. I don't think you want 1,300 people calling your phone to tell you you've made the wrong choice. This is a bigger issue because mostly senior citizens are in hospice care, and most of them are highly medicated. I don't want to say over-medicated because it's their choice. Highly medicated and unable to be as present as I am to fight for their right. When my nurse told me the doctor wouldn't prescribe me antibiotics, I said, without even needing to ask, he is a male doctor, isn't he? She said yes. I said, because no female doctor would argue that prescribing antibiotics for a UTI has nothing to do with comfort. All that being said, thank you to my naturopath for spending, and probably last week, I'm not kidding, she probably was here over 20 hours last week, holding my hand through the whole thing to nurse me back to life. And after I complained to 3 different people and threatened them, this morning the nurse comes and she said, yes, we're going to write you a script. It sounds like you're still uncomfortable, so we're going to write you a script. I thought to myself, that's right, you are. But I'm not done fighting, because when we are strong in spirit and mind, it's our job to fight for those who cannot. It's our job to raise our voices for those who otherwise are victims to policies and gray areas that are misinterpreted according to the bottom line. Now, why would my getting a $5 antibiotic affect the bottom line? That's a good question. That's one of the reasons why I would like to call an investigative journalist to ask the same question. Why would prescribing me a $5 antibiotic affect their bottom line? I would imagine that because I'm on state insurance, that the state insurance is not paying as much as private insurance. I would imagine because I've been on hospice care for so long, and the average person in this particular hospice care region only is alive for 3 weeks on hospice, that the amount of money they got for taking me in was much more than the amount that can sustain them over a long period of time. So why not just let a UTI knock her out? I don't know, I don't have the answer, but I want the answer. I guess I wasn't done talking about that. Where am I at now? I'm finally just enjoying being alive again, having my life force back, and not just my naturopath brought me back to life, your prayers brought me back to life. Many of you sent me private messages. I have not responded to probably most of them. I hope to at some point, but for right now I just needed recovery time. Today my niece is here, and I told her I feel like binge watching a show, so we're going to binge watch Queer Eye and have some snacks and my mom's gonna make some good food, and we're gonna have a chill day. I only was recovering on St. Patrick's Day, but I hope some of you had a beautiful celebratory week. And I also know that most of you on this platform, and certainly those that are close to me, are fighting for those people in the world that cannot fight for themselves right now, whether it be through your posting and reposting, or your speaking out in your own creative posts. But I know who you are. I know your heart. And I know that we are banded together here to help the people in the world, especially right now. Gaza is coming into mind, that are still being bombed and that are still being occupied, to gain a free Palestine. And also praying for Congo and Syria and Iran. They said that 6 singers from Iran who were illegally not wearing the hijab, their Instagram accounts were deleted, and 2 of them, they don't know the location of where they are. They also do not know the location of many people who have been taken by ICE illegally. Please, let's continue to pray. Let's continue to visualize families returning to families safely. People coming back to their humanity, coming back into their bodies, feeling what it feels like to empathize again with someone that doesn't look like us, talk like us, or make the choices we would necessarily make for our families. Worship the same name of God. What I know is that the people of the world are being misrepresented, especially the Arab population. And I ask that if you're on the fence about that you talk directly to God, that you not go to your book to see if it's okay to love an Arab, but that you talk directly to God and ask God if it's okay to love an Arab. I love you so much. It's on my heart to be with you more, and I will as much as I can. Mwah.